People always want to take the fastest way possible. So that means they want to get on the highways and they want to go where everybody else is going. Maybe they want to do the Facebook ads or the YouTube ads, or they want to do some type of really sexy industry that everybody's going towards. It's not my philosophy. I'm a big believer in taking the back roads, going where people don't tend to fall into line, and you're kind of out on your own, doing your own thing, learning your own way. You learn more about the industry, you learn more about yourself, you learn more about what the market wants, what the market already has, what the market needs. Taking back roads for me is like getting in the Jeep or getting on the motorcycle and just going out and trying to get lost. You learn ins and outs like nobody else. You learn maybe faster ways. You learn what, see, I'm in traffic right now and these people are all going towards the same direction. It's just like with your business. You might be going towards something that a million other people are doing. And by doing that, you're kind of cutting your own throat. You're hurting your future by trying to do what everybody else is doing. Taking back roads is what gave me a chance to actually get out of obscurity and doing things maybe in an unorthodox approach. I was able to market differently, I was able to sell differently, and I was able to become mentally stronger just by going against the grain and the instinct that most people have of what's the fastest way, what is everybody else doing, let me do that. I kind of like being out on my own, and in that way, when you say something, it might be in a different tone, it might be in a different manner than what everybody else is saying. Thought leaders are thought leaders for a reason. They're not saying everything that they've heard and what everybody else is saying. They do things differently, and by taking back roads in life, you really do gain a couple strengths that other people don't. When I take my old Harley out, I have a 1971 Harley Sportster, and I also have a Suzuki DR650. I take it out in the back roads and I try to get lost all the time. You know, learn new roads that I've never been on. And that, to me, is like the ultimate sense of freedom. Not being bound to one way, and maybe not being limited to only knowing one way. If you are able to put yourself in a situation where you have to find a new way, I think that does something to your skill sets. It, number one, gives you this sense of energy whenever you do find a new way that other people are not familiar with. And now you know something that other people don't, and that's what's going to make you valuable. I do this same type of approach in business. I will try things, trying to get lost, trying to find a new way, trying to maybe develop a more efficient approach to marketing, sales, maybe communication. What this does is that it doesn't limit me to one way. If someone tells me something works, I'll try it, but I'm always looking for something that might be a little bit better. And this is where the risk-taking comes into play. As an entrepreneur, I think you have to have that risk-taking gene, because you really do have to have that sense of going somewhere and getting lost. If you are only taking the safe way where everybody else is going, you're only going to be a number in line. People who are employees of big corporations, they're just numbers. That's what they feel like. But entrepreneurs are solo artists for a long, long time. And they have to train themselves to go into the woods, go into the back roads, go somewhere where nobody else is at, and try to make it. Maybe try to make their way home. Taking the back roads in life has allowed our business to break 6 figures in 3 years. I mean, we didn't do the advertising approach. We didn't do strategies with like ClickFunnels. We didn't do all this mainstream Facebook ads, YouTube ads, hiring the biggest consultants. We did things in a way that most people would look at and say, how is that even possible? But what that did is that give us a sense of confidence that we could go in somewhere and get lost easily and find our way out. And maybe we know a better way now. So I recommend anybody out there, fall in love with the back roads of life. I mean, seriously, what is the point of doing it exactly like someone else? If someone's already done it that way, then there's no need for you to actually start whatever you're starting. You as an entrepreneur need to fulfill a demand. I get the question all the time, can entrepreneurship be taught? Personally, I believe the main highways of entrepreneurship can be taught, but not the back roads. Here is why. Yes, you can tell people what to do and when to do it. Get on this highway, go here, do this, buy this ad, have this type of logo, use these colors. But that is only the skeleton. You need still the blood flow, the muscle, and everything behind it. This is where each business is uniquely different. You have to learn the stuff that's only useful for your business, your strengths, your weaknesses, your wants, your desires, your ability to solve someone's problem. That's gonna make you different than someone else. This is how you're gonna get attention. And this is why you still need the back roads of your own business that make your business different than everyone else's. So can it be taught? Yes, but only the main roads. The back roads are what you are gonna have to do on your own. This is where you have to figure out what words to use, what words not to use, what team members, where you're gonna set up shop, what problem you're actually gonna solve, what do you wanna do for the rest of your life. This is stuff that they can't teach you. They could always say to give you the basics of here's what to do and what to avoid, but there's certain things that only you are gonna be able to figure out on your own. And this is what's gonna set you apart. So if you can learn the back roads of your own business and get out there and be willing to get lost along the way, and then have the ability to find your way home, God, you're gonna be so strong. As entrepreneurs, we don't wanna be the same. We wanna be different. We wanna be someone that the world has never ever seen before. So if you go out on your own and you find certain ways that only work for you, doesn't that make you feel so good? Like you're finding more about who you are, you find out what you do love, what you don't love. I think inside of us, we have this desire for personal development. Now, personal development is getting really, really big nowadays. I mean, you got people like Ed Milet talking about it, Andy Frisella, the Grant Cardones. Yes, personal development is huge. But as an entrepreneur, I believe it's just inside of you to just keep getting better at whatever you do. And that's why being an employee at a corporation, you kind of hit this glass ceiling. You're in this funnel, I guess you could say, of their business, and you can't escape. You can't personally develop anymore. But with entrepreneurship, you can always get a little bit faster, a little bit smoother. You could always keep making more money. And this all comes down to just finding out more about your journey, your industry, your own personal quirks. So if you go out there and you get lost in life, it's just so much easier to figure out. It's almost a survival thing where you have to figure out what gets you home, what gets you attention, what gets you back on a road that you're very familiar with. If you put yourself in a situation where it's like a dire situation where you have to learn more about yourself to survive, then there's no way out except for getting better at what you do. The greatest back road I ever took in business was writing a book. Yeah, everybody says you need to write a book, but it was how I did it. It was sort of my way of being different. It was using my story as the competitive advantage. Putting it out there for the world to know what I know and how I learned it was the ultimate back road approach. I was able to learn what did work, what didn't work, what I'm willing to do for the rest of my life, all from one book. And so if you're able to do that with your business, whether it is a book or whether you have some type of video strategy or some type of social media strategy or this amazing hook somehow to get people into your network, into your tribe, whatever you have to do, you just have to figure out what you're willing to do for the rest of your life. And I don't think you could ever figure that out until you get lost. You know, I see a lot of people who come from money and they get a lot of connections and they have a lot of resources in general. These people never, from what I'm seeing, not always, I'm gonna say, I don't want to generalize everyone, but they don't learn the basics of business, simple etiquette, simple do's and don'ts. And they really never figure out maybe themselves 100%. And maybe they never figure out that back road of business or back road of life to make them, know themselves all the way through. And the people who are starting from zero or started from zero, they're born on a back road. They don't actually have the easy way to their destination. And so if you want to look at it from the grand scheme of things, they might even have an advantage, because no matter what, they do have to take ways that other people are unwilling to go and maybe are just, they just don't even know they exist. So if you started from zero, you got to look at it as you have a competitive advantage. You have the ability to go places that other people are scared to go. And that should make you feel really, really good. Because I meet hundreds of entrepreneurs. I've worked with hundreds. I'm on phone calls daily with people. Some people just don't have it in them. And some people do. Some people are willing to take the long way. Maybe not the most efficient right out of the gate, but it's the structure that's required. It's the wherewithal. It's the ability to go into places and solve problems that people are unwilling to go and solve. So if you started from zero, my God, use that. Use that as the back road approach to success.